Hey, I'm Rin. Welcome to my channel. So it's time to build Heng. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Sorry that this video took so long to make. I thought I had time to build him after I was done with Sampo, but apparently I was going to be held hostage by the man until I got the build I wanted from him. I can't complain too much though. I still got the build that I was looking for and came out of it with some ideas for my own characters too. But yes, Heng, Inhabitor Lunae, that guy I imitated the voice of for the majority of the Amphoria's quest, that guy. I was going to split him into two characters, one for Heng and the other one for Inhabitor Lunae, but then I was reminded that they are the same person, so I can't really do that unless I wanted to make it more difficult for people who want to play them, and switching back and forth between builds for one character is not good. So instead I smushed the two ideas into one. Was that a good move? Not really. It made both sides of him very unimpressive, but at the same time it prevents you from getting into trouble if you wanted to play them as the same person. And your DM will question you less if you have them as one character, instead of one being a fighter and the other one being a sorcerer all of a sudden. Don't question it, I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, here is my build for Heng. For the first part of the build, it's probably the easiest part. For race, I immediately looked into what looked like the best Dragonborn ancestry for him. I went with White Dragon myself because it's the closest to Inhabitor Lunae's color scheme, and because there's no water-based dragon, so Cold was the next best option. It was a no-brainer pick for me, just something close to what the Vidyadhara are in-game, the dragon people and all that. As for classes, well, I said before I switched together two builds that I had planned for each version and decided to hope that it would work. I gave him 3 levels in Sorcerer and 4 levels in Fighter, since we see him in his Fighter Hunt form more than we see in Inhabitor Lunae. I'll start with the Sorcerer part first. I gave him the Sea Sorcerer subclass to give him some water element into his build, which also came with the ability to swim fast and breathe underwater, as well as some fun cursing abilities which can either slow your opponents down, hurt them with more magic, or chuck them around, depending on what spells you're targeting them with. It's very chaotic, and I thought it fit the destruction part very well too. Moving on from that though, I also gave him heightened spells to overcome resistances of enemies, and distance spells so the attacks have a longer reach. As for the fighter part of his build, I gave him the dueling fighting style because most of his attacks are melee based and the +2 is always nice. I also gave him the Battle Master subclass, mainly because I really didn't like how limited the champion was. But besides that, the subclass gives him proficiency in an artisan tool, which I picked to be smithing in a reference to Yingxing. You also have combat superiority, which gives him a lot of maneuvers. I will get into detail now about the ones that I picked. Evasive footwork, it helps you get away faster and helps you get away quickly if needed. Lunging attack, which increases your reach and as a reference to his regular ultimate. And sweeping attack, because polearm I guess. For ability scores, I made it that dexterity is his highest, then charisma for his spells, then I'd go with wisdom, constitution, and then strength, and then intelligence will have to be his lowest. You can also switch charisma and dexterity around if you're hoping to use one of the classes more than the other. For background, I went with one I kind of needed to think about a lot. There wasn't one that fit what I was looking for, which was to do with reincarnation, past lives, or something like that. I could have gone with Haunted one, but the skill proficiencies weren't what I was looking for, and it didn't quite fit into what I wanted from him. Instead, I landed on Ruined instead, something that is a lot less conventional and something to play with when it comes to how you want to use him. It also comes with one special feat that you can choose. I went with Alert for him specifically because it made sense for him in my opinion, someone haunted by his past and being hunted by it across the galaxies. You gain a +5 to your initiative, you can't be surprised when you're unconscious, and you prevent advantages against you if they aren't seen by you. which is a good segue to his other feat as well, which I ended up choosing to be Tracker. Get a +1 to your wisdom, you get the Hunter's Mark spell, and you can use it once without expending a spell slot. And you get advantages on survival checks. Also, if any of these feats are banned at your table, I would recommend switching to other ones. Ruined is a very niche background, and I'd switch to Haunted one if you can't use it. That, and if Tracker is banned, Fighting Initiate is also a good replacement. You get an additional fighting style from it of your choosing, which is very nice if you want to play a more versatile build. As for languages and proficiencies, I don't really know what to give as his additional language. I kind of picked Celestial because he's traveling with the Astral Express through space, so if you guys have a better pick, let me know. For proficiencies, I went with Insight because though he doesn't speak that much, he seems to understand others quite well. And also I gave him Intimidation because of his past life as Imbibitor Lunae. That, and he just seems to have that way with him. I already mentioned the smithing tools, but he also gets an option of a gaming set. I picked Dragon Chess because, get it? Dragon Chess? Anyway, for spells, I kind of picked a few that I thought would be interesting. They don't really fit the vibe of Imbibitor Lunae specifically, but I did my best to find ones that I thought might work. Emphasis on might. I'm not sure if I did my best, but they don't really line up perfectly as I had hoped they would. Still, I guess they do work in their own strange way. First being Windlash as a damage cantrip. It's mainly because he uses the wind element in his regular form. Next is Green Flame Blade. It's mainly to make his melee attacks even more effective, nothing more than that. Another is Earth Tremor. I couldn't find one that matched his skill perfectly, but you could think of it as similar enough. Something bursting from the ground, knocking people off their feet with incredible power. I also gave him Magic Missile, which could be seen as similar to his regular skill. Not really, but it's some kind of hope for myself. That, or you could choose Witch Bolt instead. Finally, I picked a spell that would be similar enough to his ultimate, and I couldn't really find one that was perfect fit, but Sky Strike was the closest, I guess. Leaping into the air and striking down your enemy. Close enough, I guess. Finally, for his equipment, the only things that I recommend is a spear and possibly an orb-like object for his arcane focus. Good picks? I'm not sure. I kind of went through quite a bit of back and forth on what I wanted to do with him. Now that we've reached the backstory part of his video, I guess I just wanted to go with what I had. Something interesting, something a little tragic for his character. I wonder if it's good or not. I just hope, I guess. Here's what I've got. They called him a traitor to his people, a monster who had forsaken his duties and had committed the most heinous crime against life and death. He never meant for it to happen this way, but it did. He just wanted to save his friend. The ritual was supposed to bring her back, but instead, it cost him everything all at once. The monster he had created, the people he loved driven mad by the curse he had brought upon them. How did this happen? Why did it turn out this way? The once brave, level-headed, well-loved leader of his people, branded a traitor, sent to be executed for his unforgivable deeds, to never see the new dawn come again. And yet, it did. Somehow. His eyes opened and he no longer was himself. He still had the same face, the same expressions, and yet he was no longer the foolish man who had committed those heinous sins. A young boy wandering through the streets, hiding from the light, with only vague memories of the person he once was. A fool. A cruel joke. He hid in the cart of a traveling merchant, hoping to escape the kingdom before anyone would know he was gone. He gazed towards the rising sun, feeling the warmth upon his face as the haunting reminder of the past kept playing through his mind. He wasn't that man. He had died long ago, killed and gutted as those he once loved were no longer themselves anymore. He never meant for it to happen this way, but it's too late, is it not? The light of the new dawn blinded his vision, but he couldn't help but gaze towards the horizon. Maybe it's best to leave the past buried within the past. Maybe it's better this way. The boy reached his hand out and felt the light trickle down from above. And that's all I have for him now. I hope you guys like it. I kind of wonder if this was the better build for him or not. Most likely not, but I'm okay with this one as well. Dang-hun, my sweet boy. I do wish I had gotten his 5-star version when I had the chance, but, you know, maybe some other time, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will enjoy what's coming up next too. I have a Firefly video planned, and as a previous Firefly main, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I might make her a knight. Like and subscribe if you like, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care.